Hello guys, this is Adib. Welcome to my channel Movement Science, where I simplify biomechanics with Joe. So if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. Also check me out on Instagram, where I post pictures of my notes, and the reference time for all the topics that I am going to cover will be mentioned down in the description, so check that out and let's get started. In this video, we are going to talk about the palmar arches that are seen in our hand. Now, we are going to talk about the three particular arches: the proximal transverse arch, distal transverse arch, and the longitudinal arch. Okay, so first let us start with understanding where they are present, and then we will go on to the uses of your palmar arch and how muscle activity is related to the palmar arches. So if you take hand over here, you can see these are the carpal bones, these are the metacarpals, right, and these are the phalanges. So the first proximal arch that we are going to talk about is a fixed arch, means that arch, that curve, does not move much. And if you can see the concavity of the proximal carpals, that is what forms the proximal transverse arch. Now these are the carpals over here, and if you can see from the top view, there is a slight curve over here, right? And this curve is basically the proximal transverse arch, and it is comparatively fixed, it does not move. Next one is the distal transverse arch. Okay, so proximal is done. The green one over here, distal transverse arch, it is more mobile, that means it will move that arch, and it is across the palm including your thumb. So if you can see this spring over here that is put, this is where your distal transverse arches. So it goes like this and this. So this exact spring that you can see, right, that is your distal transverse arch. And this is a mobile arch because you can see this arch from top, right, it moves, right, this whole arch can move, correct, this arch that is formed can move. So that's why it's a mobile arch, and it crosses the palm including your thumb. And the last one is the longitudinal arch, which is again a mobile arch, and it starts from the proximal and goes to distal, includes the finger. So if you can see this purple line, basically this is your longitudinal arch, a straight arch, right? So this is your longitudinal, this is your transverse, and the smaller one is your proximal transverse, right? So these are the three arches that are seen, out of which two are mobile and one is fixed. Now, what is the use of this palmar arch? If you can see the arch, it conforms to anything that comes in my hand. Like if I have a ruler, it will grasp, it will mold accordingly, right? If I get a ball or something like that, it will mold accordingly. So basically it increases or maximizes the surface contact of whatever object I'm holding, which will improve the stability, and it also helps in increasing the sensory feedback, the sensations that are being sent to my brain, this feedback that my brain is getting. This is also improved through the sensations that again are improved by maximizing the surface contact with the object, right? So that I would say is the predominant function of your palmar arches. Now coming to the distal transverse arch, it starts with first and fourth and fifth, it ends with fourth and fifth. These are where the movement of your distal transverse arch happen, like the last two and the first finger. And second and third metacarpals are comparatively fixed. So that's what I mentioned. First, fourth and fifth metacarpal heads, they move basically around your second and third. So around these two, the other metacarpals are there and they move, and that's how the distal transverse arch has its mobility. What it does, it basically magnifies your proximal arch. Whatever we see at the proximal arch is kind of magnified at the distal transverse arch. And this arch is provided a very good stability by the ligament which runs over here, that is the deep transverse metacarpal ligament. We discussed about this in the last video, right? It is present over here like this in this area. So that is the deep transverse metacarpal ligament, which allows good stability of the metatarsal and also allows the palm to conform to different objects. And along with this stability, it allows the palm to conform to different objects, right? So now that we have spoken about the different arches and how they function, let's talk about muscles around the arches. So the first muscle that we are going to mention over here is the ODM, that is Opponence digiti minimi. Okay, now this muscle, it crosses your fifth CMC joint. So if you take here, fifth CMC joint is over here, correct, near your hamate. This muscle is attached to the hamate, correct, and it goes like this, and this muscle, when it contracts, it will create movement at the fifth metatarsal. So that's what it causes. It causes flexion and rotation at the fifth MCP. If you want to see the movement, basically as the muscle contracts, this is the movement that is going to happen, and it creates this arch, you can see right from top. So that's the main function of the ODM, that is the Opponence digiti minimi. Next muscle is the flexor carpi ulnaris. Along with your intrinsic muscles, what it does, it increases the arch. Now, one thing we need to know about the arches is, whenever you flex your fingers, the arch will always increase, or hollow will become hollow, and as you extend your fingers, the arch will always become flat. Okay, that's something which happens very naturally. Now coming back to flexor carpi ulnaris and intrinsic, when the intrinsic muscles over here, which are present right between your metacarpals, when they activate along with flexor carpi ulnaris, the arch increases. Okay, arch increases. And the next very important thing is these two bones, right, which were not moving, we saw in the last video also, these two bones, the second and the third metacarpals, they do not move in comparison to your fourth, fifth and first metacarpal, right? This is where your radial muscles are attached, that is to the second and third MCP over here, by that I mean metacarpals. They are attached to second and third metacarpal, the radial muscles, and there is no motion because they are very stiff. But even though there is no movement, it does play some role, that is, this provides stability, right? Because they are stable over here, it provides a stability which increases the efficiency of the wrist muscles. Meaning your second and the third, right, metacarpals, there the muscles are attached and they are going crossing the wrist joint. Now when your wrist muscles are contracting, if these two were mobile, what would have happened when they contract? They would have created a movement at carpo-metacarpal joint, right? When they would contract down there, it would create movement at carpo-metacarpal joint. But because they are so fixed and stable over here, instead of any movement happening here in the palm, there will be flexion of the wrist. So in this way, they are very efficient. Basically, they won't work over here, it will directly create flexion of the wrist. So hence the efficiency of your wrist muscles increases because of this stability created at the second and the third carpo-metacarpal joint. And this is called as your length tension relationship. Meaning if these were mobile, what would have happened? This would have shortened over here, right? When the muscle contracts, there would have been some movement at carpo-metacarpal joint which would have shortened the muscle at that joint and would have made him insufficient to create a flexion at the wrist. But now what has happened? Because your third and the second carpo-metacarpal joints are fixed and stable, when this muscle contracts, there won't be any movement over here. The movement will be directly seen at the wrist, which will be much more efficient, right? So that is what we see under the muscles of the palmar arches. Okay, so now quickly summarize the topic. The palmar arches help us to conform to different surfaces and increase the surface contact, which will improve stability and sensory feedback. And to do this, we have three major arches. There is the proximal transverse arch over here, distal transverse arch over here, and then the longitudinal transverse arch over here. These are the three arches. In the distal transverse arch, the second and the third metacarpal is very fixed in comparison to fourth, fifth and first, and that's where the movement mostly occurs. And coming to the muscles, there is the opponence muscle which creates this opponence movement and increases the arch. The flexor carpi ulnaris along with intrinsic muscles increase the arch in the palm region. And then the radial muscles, it is shown that how they attach to your second and third metacarpal, but because they are very stiff at the carpo-metacarpal joint, this leads to a very efficient movement at the wrist joint through the principle of length tension relationship, right? So with that, we finish off this topic. That's all for today guys. Thank you for watching.
If you like my content, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. It will really help me out, and thank you for watching.